Hello, my name is Georgina and today I'll be discussing HelloFresh and the various brand elements that contribute to the brand equity. I will also be uncovering consumer perceptions and how they decide to associate with the brand. So HelloFresh is a multinational meal kit company that provides consumers with the ingredients and steps required to make a wide range of meals at home. The idea behind the company, the sequential steps of ordering your plan, having the box delivered to your door, and then cooking the meals yourself. The mission for HelloFresh is to change the way people eat forever by incorporating health, taste, sustainability, and affordability into their plans. The company originated in Berlin, Germany in 2011 and has since increased into 14 markets globally, making it the most popular meal kit company in the world. In 2020, the company has seen exponential growth in its figures. For the first 6 months of 2020, HelloFresh recorded an increase of 107% in active customers worldwide and an increase in revenue by 90.6% worldwide. These figures are a result of the COVID-19 pandemic overall and a large consumer shift of purchasing groceries and meal kits online due to travel restrictions and social distancing. So moving on to brand inventory, in this section of the presentation I'll be discussing the various elements that contribute to the brand's equity and how this influences consumer perceptions and value recognition. So HelloFresh has implemented a multi-branding strategy whereby they offer different brands to service different segments of the market. These subsidiary brands are Green Chef, Every Plate, and Chef's Plate. These sub-brands have been acquired by HelloFresh as they have penetrated new markets, and they have used them to target different segments of the market by offering different plans and focusing on different dietary preferences or requirements. Today, HelloFresh is continuing to introduce these different sub-brands into a very select number of markets where they are able to achieve economies of scale. It is worth mentioning that HelloFresh and Every Plate are the only sub-brands offered in Australia at this stage. The target market for HelloFresh is time-poor consumers who are conscious of grocery expenses, conscious of health and nutrition, and are familiar with online shopping portals. These factors contribute to a service like HelloFresh being attractive and accessible. They also target a lot of their marketing towards students and offer discounts for those students with IDs. Overall, it's a reasonably broad market that HelloFresh hopes to service, and they implement a range of strategies to attract various groups to these markets. So in today's society, the online meal kit delivery market is becoming increasingly saturated with new brands offering similar services. When HelloFresh first penetrated the market in 2012 in Australia, the concept of ordering meal kits online was pretty relatively new and a unique concept to consumers. However, since then, the company has experienced an exponential growth in competitors, including Marley Spoon, Dinnerly, which is owned by Marley Spoon, and Pepperleaf. These brands differentiate themselves based on price, recipe offerings, and the overall structure of their plans. As you can see in the table on the screen, they each have marginal differentiations in their product offering or branding strategies that determine what type of consumer uses which brand. However, it is when we consider the specific brand elements where we discover the true distinctions between these brands. The elements include recipe offerings, the variety of meals and ingredients that they provide, how the recipe cards are laid out, the detail of the recipe cards, any additional features to the service, and the flexibility of the plan. As you can see in these maps, HelloFresh's main point of differentiation is the style of their meals, in that they offer restaurant quality and substantially portioned meals, and they also differentiate themselves on being accessible around Australia. So what is unique to HelloFresh? What are they doing well, and what do consumers want to see differently? On the slide now are a couple of the brand's most commonly used and recognised elements, including their logo, slogans, their app, and packaging. From the survey respondents, about 89% of participants were most familiar with HelloFresh, just from viewing the logo. In fact, none of the respondents said that they weren't familiar with the brand at all. The green, lime, and simple colour scheme present an aesthetically pleasing representation of fresh and bright. Actually, when I was discussing it with a couple of the respondents, they were saying that the HelloFresh logo, when they see it, they could actually sense the smell of fresh, healthy, and summer meals. As well as conducting secondary research to identify these brand elements, I've also turned my attention to consumers and surveying the perceptions and attitudes towards HelloFresh as a brand. This section of my presentation will be broken into 4 categories: brand awareness, brand usage, brand judgments, and brand resonance. With regard to brand awareness, as you can see in the chart, all respondents were aware and familiar with HelloFresh. This was the case when they were just shown the logo without a name, as well as when it was written on multiple choice questions, just in the question heading. In these discussions with some of the respondents, it was recognised that again the colour of the green lime was very distinctive and familiar to consumers. Even those who didn't use the brand or know much about the company were at least familiar or aware of the logo, brand, and name. Moving on to brand usage, it was uncovered that 33% of respondents used or had used meal kits in the past. When asked which ones they had, it was either HelloFresh or Marley Spoon, and the main reasons were because their family got it, it was just convenient, because there was a deal on where they offered a discount or a trial period, and because it was simply the brand that they just felt was best for them. This goes to show that although people are familiar with the brand, that doesn't necessarily correlate with usage, and this is a potential improvement area for HelloFresh in improving the relationship between awareness and usage. Ideally, they would have one lead to the other. When looking into brand judgments, there were a range of factors that were considered. I wanted to test what associations consumers had with HelloFresh and whether these were competitive against other brands in the market. The most popular responses were that HelloFresh was successful and healthy. Although you can't see it in this graph, but none of the respondents associated HelloFresh with cheap. When asked about Marley Spoon, respondents most frequently associated it with convenience, accessibility, easy to use, healthy, and high quality, all equally amount of responses to those associations, and with Dinnerly they most associated with accessibility. The accessibility factor was quite popular, and I believe it's because it's an online service with an easy to use app. And so it was also interesting to see that the respondents judged HelloFresh as a successful brand. However, they didn't recognise Marley Spoon or Dinnerly as a successful brand. I believe that this has more to do with the brand elements that give this perception, the things like the logo and the slogans and the brand campaigns and strategies, marketing strategies. Finally, brand resonance. It should be disclosed that the accuracy of this evaluation is affected by the numbers of the survey responses and the scope of the research that was conducted. In order to get a better understanding, it is best to probably expand this scale. However, from the primary research, it was concluded that there were currently no elements of HelloFresh resulting in an intense active brand loyalty. Although as a subscription service, consumers do become loyal to the brand just naturally, just that's what a subscription is. There are no particular brand elements that stood out as unique in this market that drew consumers to actively being loyal to the brand. Regardless of this though, respondents saw value in the company more than with any of the other competitors. Even if consumers weren't using the brand personally, they were able to recognise the value in it. And therefore, to conclude, the main contributors to brand equity are the brand elements. Consumers use these elements to associate HelloFresh with success, health, and freshness. Moving forward, however, there is potential to develop these elements so that they translate more to brand usage. Thank you.